Hello, I'm going to be talking a bit about Sheep Wars, which is basically my new favourite minigame on Hypixel, and I think it's better than Bed Wars. Yeah, I said it. I prefer Sheep Wars to Bed Wars. Let me get into things. Let me explain everything I've learned and a little bit more. So, there's a few things you need to know about Sheep Wars. There's 7 different types of sheep, and they're all different colours. For instance, this sheep here, this is the earthquake sheep, and as you can see, when it's placed down, it destroys the ground around it, except for the bits of the map which are made of clay. So when you load into a map, there are 2 sides. There's the red team and the blue team, and you basically flip-flop between each different team when you're loading into different games, a bit like Bed Wars, except there's only 2 teams here, and you're going to be on one team with a lot of other players. There are a couple other things you need to worry about other than just generally collecting and shooting the sheep. For instance, there's the magic wool, which spawns in and allows you to get extra sheep or effects. Effects are little square cubes that sort of float in the air, a bit like the sheep that you go up to collect, except they're named differently and they say something something effect, like blindness, or disable bows, or something like that, and you'll see them in game. But the magic wool is different. The magic wool spawns up in the air and you have to shoot it with your bow. If you hit it, you get extra sheep or special effects, applied to you or the other team. The second type of sheep we're going to look at is the pink healing sheep, which when you place down, does the status healing effect when you're in a certain radius of it, and this is one of the only ways to regenerate in game other than getting special effects. Up next we've got the green homing sheep. Now the green homing sheep, you left click to send straight at the other players and it will home in like a missile and does a good bit of damage. A part of the game mode, which I'm taking advantage of here, is you get different sheep put into your inventory. You don't have to go around to collect them on the map, so you can just hide and hoard a lot of sheep, but it gives your enemy the chance to hoard a lot of sheep too. Hopefully when you release all your sheep at once, you do better at aiming than me. Up next we have the onboarding sheep, which is the white sheep, but this sheep is a little bit different to all the other sheep. It doesn't spawn as often, and when an onboarding sheep spawns for you, it also spawns for the other team. This sheep allows you to left click and ride it to the other side of the map until you shift, and you will be deployed on the other side. There, you can PvP with your sword and your bow and your sheep, but hopefully when you cross to the other side, you actually land on the other side, unlike me, because, yeah. Anyways, the next sheep is the black sheep. It's the black hole sheep. When you place it down, it gravitates and sucks in the enemy players. So you can do something like sending a black sheep to the other side to get other players sucked in, and then sending perhaps some follow-up explosions so they get sucked into your trap and then exploded. But I didn't fall into this explosion. I was lucky. I can avoid it. The sheep you're going to get most familiar with is the red normal exploding sheep. This loads into your inventory usually first thing in the game, and this allows you to just send it over and it will instantly explode as soon as it comes into contact with other blocks. This is different to the orange explosive sheep, because that's a high explosive sheep, and it's a timed explosion. It takes a little bit longer, but it's far more powerful than an explosion. So if you're strategic and you send it over at the right time, you can do some major damage. And once you understand all of these sheep and how they work, the effects and the magic wool, you can start thinking about playing strategically. For instance, launching your sheep at clusters of other players on the other side to try and get as many at the same time, and also not right-clicking with your sheep, because that applies gravity and they will probably fall into the void. But if you manage to get them on the other side, they explode quicker and slightly more powerfully, also I've heard. Here you see me doing various things in the game now that I've learned how to actually use the sheep and I'm not panicking anymore whenever I load into a game. Here you can see me just launching a normal explosive sheep and getting a whole bunch of damage done to the other side of the team, which is really good because it means I'm using less ammo and doing more damage. But also, whenever you do damage to another player in the chat or whenever you get a kill, it will notify you in the chat and make a noise whenever you do damage. So it means you don't have to look at where you send your ammo, because you'll probably be too busy dodging people sending sheep back in retaliation. Also, another thing to be aware of while playing Sheep Wars is to keep caring for your teammates. If you have a healing sheep, make sure to place it down in radius of your other teammates, which may be low down on health, and you can all heal together and make sure you stay alive and win the game. This is a team game, so teamwork is pretty important, and you don't really want to leave a teammate high and dry because they can help distract the other team while you onboard and potentially take out other players. Here you can see me placing down a black hole sheep accidentally on our side and trying to shoot at it to kill it, but it getting the arrow knocked back because it was my own sheep, I guess. And there I'm also sending over a high explosive sheep very fast and basically getting that last team member on the opposing team because they fell through the ground. And yeah, basically, as long as you keep all of those different things in mind while you're playing the game, you can't go too far wrong, and the more you play the game, the more you become familiar with each different sheep and how they work, and how the different effects and the magical works, and the different maps. Thank you for watching.